The day was the 26th of May 2018. Fulham at Wembley to play against Aston Villa in the promotion playoff final to get to the Premier League, and they achieved it.
Missed the challenge. Sessegnon has done beautifully.
Winning 1-0 with a 23rd minute Tom Kearney strike. Beautiful assist off of Ryan Sessegnon. We thought, this is our time. We're back in the big time in the Premier League. But where did it all go wrong? To start off with, the 11th of August 2018. A day that many Fulham fans seen as a chance to see some of the talent that was brought in by the Khans on deadline day. A chance to see how the team could perform in the Premier League. And it didn't end well. A 2-0 defeat at home. However, it didn't feel like a defeat at the time. Many fans really felt like there were improvements to be had. However, it wasn't the worst performance, and the team was going to take time to gel. So, there were many positives to take from that game. Many fans seen it that way, and really, at the time, we didn't see it as a concern. However, later down the line, we can really tell some of the things that happened in that game that started to reoccur. Following from that, a trip away to Tottenham, however at Wembley, not the new stadium. Wembley, a stadium that not many Fulham fans wanted to return to so soon after the amazing day back in May, beating Aston Villa. However, many Fulham fans went to the game. We went out in full force. However, again, it didn't go to plan, losing 3-1. Again though, not a performance that fans really thought was too bad. Really, there were many positives that we did take from that game. However, looking down the line, it probably was a game that should have started to ring alarm bells for the season ahead. We then faced against Burnley back at home at Craven Cottage, and I think this was a game that really did make Fulham fans believe we had hope for the season ahead. We were going to achieve something, no matter how big or how small. We were going to stay in the Premier League after beating Burnley 4-2. However, again, looking at this now, we should have seen alarm bells. Conceding 2 goals is still by no means a fantastic performance. I mean, scoring 4 was fantastic. The team looked really good on that day. However, just not good enough. Now, I'm not going to be talking about every single game of the season, just the ones from now that I feel really had a part in defining the season for Fulham. And really, I think that against Brighton, this was the case. 2-0 up against Brighton and then drawing 2-2 after 2 Glenn Murray goals. I really do believe this was the game of the season that really turned things around for Fulham. The hope that we had, although it didn't start to die by this point, this was a game that really killed off our performance. Results that followed was Manchester City 3, Fulham 0, Fulham 1, Watford 1, and then Everton 3, Fulham 0, Arsenal 5, Fulham 1. And by this point, I think a lot of Fulham fans were becoming really frustrated. Cardiff 4, Fulham 2. Cardiff, a team that many have tipped for relegation, to finish in 20th position and go straight back down. Bournemouth 3, Fulham 0. Huddersfield 1, Fulham 0. And again, Huddersfield Town losing to that team. A team that again tipped for relegation. This really was a game that many Fulham fans seen as a must win. If we're going to have hope of staying up, then this was a must win, and we didn't manage to do it. And I think by this point many fans were becoming frustrated with Slavisa Jokanovic in charge, and many wanted change, and they wanted it quick. Liverpool 2, Fulham 0, and this was the last game of Slavisa Jokanovic's campaign at Fulham. And really and truly, I don't think the Liverpool game would have meant much anyway. Whether he had won it or not, I think Fulham really already had a replacement lined up in Claudio Ranieri. Ranieri's first game against Southampton, we seen a new manager bounce, 3-2. We beat Southampton, 3 points on the table. Some Fulham fans, me included, thought, wow, I reckon we can stay up, I think we can do it. However, results that followed: Chelsea 2, Fulham 0, Fulham 1, Leicester City 1, Manchester United 4, Fulham 1, West Ham 2, Fulham 0, Newcastle 0, Fulham 0, Fulham 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. And by this point, a lot of fans were thinking, we've only won one game under Ranieri. Is Ranieri going to be the man to turn it around for Fulham? And then we face Huddersfield, a team that have already beaten us this season, a team that we see as a must-win game. And we managed to do it. 1-0, a very late goal by Aleksandar Mitrovic, securing the 3 points for Fulham. Many fans singing "We are staying up," many fans beginning to get that little bit of hope. A game that followed, away to Arsenal on New Year's Day. Arsenal 4, Fulham 1. Not a game to be remembered, and sadly comes probably the lowest point of our season. Not in the Premier League, but all round, Fulham versus Oldham. Oldham 2, Fulham 1. Results that followed that game: Burnley 2, Fulham 1, Tottenham 2, Fulham 1, and then Fulham 4, Brighton 2. Now this game was again a game that many fans seen as a chance that we could stay up. Beating Brighton 4-2 after being 2-0 down. This was a fantastic experience to be at. What a game it was. However, looking back at it now, it just seems like too little too late. Crystal Palace 2, Fulham 0, Manchester United 3, Fulham 0, West Ham 3, Fulham 1, Southampton 2, Fulham 0. And that did spell the end for Claudio Ranieri's campaign at Fulham for the season. And really, I didn't enjoy his campaign one bit. Personal opinion, I just didn't enjoy it. I was glad to see Scott Parker given the temporary role as Fulham manager. We faced off against Chelsea for Scott Parker's first game in charge for Fulham, and we lost 2-1. But really, we started to play that attacking football that we so lack after getting rid of Slavisa Jokanovic. And it really was the right time to get rid of Jokanovic, in my opinion. However, we just so missed the football that we played under him. And it really did seem like against Chelsea, what an exciting game it was. It didn't feel like a defeat. By this point, so many fans had given up anyway. We've decided relegation is inevitable. But it was nice to see a half-decent performance. Leicester City 3, Fulham 1. And now, most recently, Liverpool 2, Fulham 1. And that brings us up to where we are in the current season. Remaining games to face: Manchester City, Watford, Everton, Bournemouth, Cardiff City, Wolverhampton and Newcastle United. Can Fulham stay up is the question. Simply, my answer is probably no. I think that if we start to get points now, it's too little too late. I can't see us getting out of the battle that we've created for ourselves. As sad as it is, it looks like we will be returning to the Championship. So overall, in my opinion, the game that really changed things around for Fulham was the day that we drawn 2-2 with Brighton. I want to know in the comments, when was the day for you when you think our season started to really take a turn and go downhill? I wanted to make this podcast so we could take a look at the season, at all of the results we've had so far, and think, is it really going to be possible for us to get out of this situation? Sadly, it has been a record-breaking Fulham for season in so many bad ways, starting off with Harry Kane scoring his first ever August goal when we faced them at Wembley. However, if we can get out this mess, fair play to Fulham. However, in my opinion, too little too late. I can't see it happening, but I will continue to go to the games, get behind the team, and I encourage everyone else to do so. Sadly, along with all of these negative results, the ticket prices have also been a massive factor of our bad season, and I encourage everyone to get behind the hashtag that the Fulhamish boys have come up with, #StopTheGreed. Together, we need to get these ticket prices down and stop pricing out these loyal Fulham fans. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast, and I haven't been around for quite some time now, and that is solely because I've been having computer issues. I've been trying to fit something in and record something around my work schedule, which has been fairly difficult because it's just never the right time to record a lot of the time, and there's always people around creating noise in the background, and it's just quite difficult to produce something that I want to put out there. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast, and I will be returning at the end of the season to do one final overview of the season, and then I will be back for the season, whether it be in the Premier League or the inevitable of being back in the Championship. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye for now.